Teddy Atlas says on that faithful night when Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua, Joshua did not behave like a champion. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Now, Teddy Atlas said some comments, and he talked about the Joshua fight, and he said some interesting things. Some people got angry with it. We're going to go through a couple of his tweets. This is his verified page. And let's start. He says, on the night of the fight, surreal. Yes, Joshua didn't want to fight. Yes, the referee looked lost. Yes, we all feel like we need an 8 count. Yes, someone expected this. No, I expected it, actually. He goes on to say, getting hit behind the ear can be worse than getting hit on the chin. Instead of being knocked out, you are knocked drunk. It destroys your equilibrium. 2 of the ingredients for a boxing upset, late replacement, and you have made more money than you could ever spend. That's solid. But he has some critiques. He said, the whole thing has me thinking of a quote by the great Marvin Hagler. Quote, it's tough to get out of bed to do road work at 5 a.m. when you've been sleeping in silk pajamas. Hashtag Joshua Ruiz, which is all facts. Shout out to Hagler. 2 things you never would have thought coming into tonight. Number 1, that Ruiz would win. Number 2, that it would be Ruiz who would be going to the body more than Joshua. Ruiz was out there fighting smart. He says, I doubt it, but now I can say congrats to Andy Ruiz, who shows why we dream dreams and why no matter what, we should never give up, because miracles are sometimes just someone saying yes when everyone else is saying no. Congrats, Andy. Right? He goes on to say, while watching last night, I wished I were doing the color commentary just so I could have borrowed Al Michaels' iconic call of the U.S. versus Soviet Union Olympic hockey game. Do you believe in miracles? This is where it gets interesting. Teddy Atlas said, while Joshua did not behave like a champion last night, I expect the Golden State Warriors, after being knocked to the canvas in their first game against Toronto, to show tonight how a champion is supposed to act. So he was just giving some sports commentary, and people says, terrible tweet, man. Come on. Behavior was class. So they took it wrong, and he comes out and explains it. He says, yesterday I said that although Joshua may not have behaved like a champion in the ring on Saturday after being knocked down, you could be sure Golden State Warriors would pick themselves up off the canvas just as champions do. They did that. And people were still saying, oh, you're wrong. Why'd you say that about Joshua? So today he put, when I said Joshua did not behave like a champion after being dropped by Andy Ruiz, it had nothing to do with his manners or being gracious following the match. It was about his actions during the fight. It was about overcoming, finding a way, being a champion. He wasn't. So he just doubled down on it. Then he concludes by saying, those who know me know I have nothing. Oh, this has nothing to do with it. That's just a regular one. Okay. So he said he wasn't being a champion in how he behaved. Listen, the internet is getting too sensitive, man. Joshua did not look like he wanted to be there. He did not look like he wanted to fight. I respect everyone that laces him up. This is not about like, oh, let's just bash champions or whatever bullshit people do on the internet. Joshua, however, for someone that was about to lose 4 belts that he worked for, someone who said they wanted to be a billionaire, someone that said they would break Andy Ruiz's jaw if he kept trash talking, Joshua did not show up. He looked relieved, actually, that he lost. He's smiling and photobombing and putting his arm around Andy Ruiz. Joshua, that killer instinct, I don't know. I don't know what's caused it. I don't know if, what supplements he has that he took, or, if he's just getting older and lost testosterone. I don't know. But he looked like he did not want to be in there. He looked spooked. He looked shook. He didn't commit to his punches. He was getting out jabbed by a shorter person. He was getting backed up by the smaller, shorter person. It looked weird. Didn't really make sense. and he didn't do himself any favors. Point blank period. I agree with Teddy Atlas. Joshua behaved, accepting the responsibility, that aspect. He showed a lot of couth. He showed class, and he showed it's a gentleman's sport. But as far as being a champion, having that burning desire and that fire, and hey, I could fight Fury in the future. I could fight Deontay Wilder in the future. These are big fights. I got to pull myself together. He didn't have that. Maybe he was concussed. Maybe he was badly hurt. I'm just going off of what I seen. He didn't have that depth. And it's funny because on this channel art, you see Teddy Atlas. Tim Bradley was hurt badly in the second round or whatnot versus Ruslan Provodnikov, but he dug down deep where champions have to go, and we've seen that from the Mayweathers, the Andre Wards, the Bradleys, the Juan Manuel Marquezes. Joshua simply didn't show that for whatever reason. Maybe the event, the pressure got to him, anxiety. Maybe he wanted to lose, not like he wanted to lose on purpose, but maybe he doesn't have, that underlying grit. He's even said stuff like that. There's a quote he did with Carl Frampton, fight week, and he says, after the Klitschko fight, I told my coaches, if I go through another fight like that, then I'm done. That's his words. He said, then I'm done, because it shouldn't be that hard. It should be competitive, but I shouldn't have to go through hell and back to win fights. I can't go through too many of those. So maybe he just doesn't have that gear that, sometimes boxing brings fighters to. So I don't see anything wrong with what Teddy Atlas said. And in fact, I actually agree. I don't think Joshua behaved like a champion who was about to lose it all. Same thing with Klitschko. When Klitschko fight Tyson Fury, he looked like he couldn't get into Tyson Fury's rhythm, and he didn't really try. He looked like he was reserved. For someone who hadn't lost in 10 years, I would expect more. For someone last name Klitschko, I would expect more, period. He tried kind of at the last 2 rounds, he started going for broke, but he needed to do that much earlier. That's why I think he came so proper in the Joshua fight. And, he went out on his terms, and he brought a much better fight with a younger, stronger guy than Tyson Fury, in Anthony Joshua. So I think he had to, that's why he kept saying Klitschko, Joshua obsessed, Joshua, Klitschko obsessed, because he felt he probably had to make it up because that Tyson Fury performance was pretty abysmal. That wasn't his best stuff. That wasn't his best night in the office. And I'm not gonna say Joshua or Klitschko weren't trying, but as soon as they met the adversity, then it sent them to a place of almost complacency where the frustration keeps you there, as opposed to digging down deep and getting to that extra gear and finding a way. Like, man, you're going to lose this fight if you don't do something. You're going to lose everything you work for. And that's the difference between Floyd Mayweather and, let's say, Anthony Joshua. Floyd will take it there. He'll take it to that place. That man got hurt badly in the second round. Joshua got hurt badly after hurting, Ruiz badly. Same thing with Ruiz. Ruiz took it there. He was badly hurt, stood his ground, said it's going to be him or me. I'm going out on my shield or he's going out. And then he connected the right shots, and Joshua was the one that suffered, and he never recovered. It kind of reminds me of Marcos Maidana versus Victor Ortiz, kind of. Victor Ortiz was doing great in the fight. He knocked Maidana down in, I think it was 3 times. But the difference being, Maidana is just relentless. He got dropped by Khan in the first round, came back to give Khan hell. People thought he was outmatched versus Mayweather. He gave Mayweather a tougher fight than Canelo and Pacquiao. Some people just have that extra gear, that extra grit to take them to that place. Victor Ortiz dropped Maidana 3 times, and he still was pesky and didn't go away. And then he made Victor Ortiz quit. So I don't see anything wrong with what Teddy Atlas is saying. I think people want to be PC and act like little pussies and shit. Like, oh yeah, man, don't be mean. These are professional fighters, a gladiator sport. People keep saying it's a gentleman's sport and don't say this at the weigh-in. No, don't do that. They know what they signed up for. This is boxing, and if you don't have that grit or that drive, then I don't suggest anyone get in that ring, because there's a person that could potentially take your life And if you're not in the right frame of mind, or, you know, you're not willing to take it to that place, and that person is, that could be extremely dangerous for your health, because you don't have that extra level to go to, and they do. You know what I'm saying? No matter if they're hurt, broken jaw, fractured hand, nose is bleeding, concussed, you know, some people just have that extra it factor. And that's what I think Teddy Atlas is getting at. And what I'm saying, people want to see Joshua take it to another level. Like, he's 6'6", getting backed up by a small person. He has a good jab, not showing it. He, you know, is getting hit to the body, and he's built like, you know, a Greek god, or, you know, statue, and he's letting this guy with short arms come in on the inside. It just looked disinterested, disoriented, looked like he didn't want to be there, and he didn't want to go for the gusto, you know. So it is what it is, but the rematch is coming soon. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We work. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.